Well, hello everyone. I'm Sharon Musayyebi, CEO, co-founder of Crypto Quantique. I'm just going to build up on what you've heard in the past two talks. Just to start with, crypto means cryptography. There's no fishy business going on here. We are a company based in London. We are VC-backed, growing, and essentially we are concentrating on securing the connected world, or the IoT. And by IoT, we mean any connected device that could be a sensor in your house or your cameras to the vehicle that you are driving. So as you've heard enough, I think, the quantum day is here, and they are a threat into the widely used crypto systems that we have. So we need to act and we need to move. The good thing is there are solutions, quantum technologies providing solutions to address that challenge. Quantum key distribution, for instance, is one of those. However, when it comes to the connected world or the IoT, specific IoT devices, given their characteristics of the physical characteristics that they have, the type of devices that they are, it's not, at least right now, it's not really possible to use technologies like QKD to secure them. So we need to rely on other mechanisms to secure them. As you've heard, there is this thing called post-quantum cryptography. The new standards are already out by NIST, and the industry is moving towards implementation phase. These four algorithms that you see are the ones that have been standardized and are being essentially the industry going through a transition to adopt them. And at least for now, we know that it will solve the issue of quantum threats to security. The challenge, however, is these are not really that friendly to IoT devices. These type of algorithms, either from mathematical point of view, require arithmetic methodologies that are not really IoT friendly, because we're talking about devices that are not that powerful. They don't have much flash memory inside them, those chips. And from communication point of view, they are usually low band or narrow bands, etc. So it will solve when you use your laptops and mobile phones and server communication, these algorithms. But when it comes to your connected camera or vehicle or thermostats in your house, it doesn't really solve the problem, or is challenging for us to run them on those type of devices. To give you a quick example is a signature algorithm such as dilithium has a size over 3,000 bytes that is required for the key size and the signature size that needs to be stored inside memory inside the device. This is versus ECDSA that we use today. It's not post-quantum secure, but you only need 64 bytes of information to store inside the device. And that is a massive change. And memory, flash memories inside chips are very expensive. So from an IoT perspective, this is a huge challenge right now for the industry. So how we solve this problem is to exploit one of our products, which is called Qdid. And I'm going to talk about physics a little bit more, so it might be more exciting for you guys. Qdid is a PUF IP, a physical unclonable function. PUFs are an idea that came about 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and essentially says we can use some device variability inside the chips and other silicon devices to create unforgeable cryptographic keys or randomness that comes from the device, so they don't need to be injected inside the device as we traditionally used to do. Hence, no one knows the secret, but also the secret doesn't need to be stored because it's part of the DNA of the chip, of the device. So that, from security point of view, is very exciting, very interesting. What we've done is, what is out there as PUF, they are using normal electronic components to create that effect. However, they are side channel attacks on those components. So the application, PUF application built from them is not secure. So Qdid is a quantum tunneling PUF that uses the quantum tunneling current of transistors inside any silicon chip to create a fingerprint, essentially, which is unique and random per chip, and is always there, but is not stored really. So you don't need to store the secret inside the flash memory. That means if you need to generate a public key, you can just read 256-bit random seeds from this fingerprint and inject that into a key generation algorithm to generate your public key, whether it's post-quantum or not, and then use it. And then you can delete everything, and you can recreate the same seed from the same process again. So if someone physically gets hold of the device, there's nothing inside the memory to essentially extract and know what secret you used. And that's very valuable generally for security perspective, but also now when it comes to post-quantum cryptography. Just touch a little bit more on the physics of this. Because we are measuring quantum tunneling, which is not an easy thing to do on today chips, on silicon, because we're talking about very low current. We're talking femtoampere type currents, very sensitive to noise, obviously, so it's a challenging engineering to be able to measure those currents. At the chip level, these are, first of all, the circuit is integratable into any semiconductor chip that's being fabricated today, but also they are secure against side channel attacks that exist today. So it gives you full security at the chip level. So why is this important? Because now if you need to run PQC algorithms, as we spoke about, on an IoT device in those low device constraint chips, then you don't need that huge amount of memory anymore, because you can use QDIT as a seed generator for the keygen algorithm of those PQC crypto systems, and then generate the public key, private key, use them, delete them. So no memory extra memory is required anymore. So that helps on reducing the resources required to run PQC algorithms on IoT devices. So that solves the memory issue to run those things. But what about communication? So IoT devices obviously are connected. And for communication, we usually use protocols such as TLS. So the first thought is, in order to make that post-quantum secure, you just swipe the existing crypto algorithm in TLS with the PQC algorithm. But again, we just said digital signatures and other PQC algorithms are very expensive to run for IoT devices. So how the industry or the academia came about solving this for IoT devices is they introduced a variation of TLS known as ChemTLS. So ChemTLS uses the key encapsulation crypto systems instead of digital signatures. And by doing that, essentially, you don't need to do signatures and send certificates around. So it kind of solves the power consumption, the bandwidth requirement, and the memory issues that exist around TLS for the IoT. But the way the algorithm still works is it requires some long-term certificates to be established prior for that TLS to be run. So you still need to deal with some signatures, and also you have some other rounds of communication added to the protocol, which again, from bandwidth point of view, could create issues for the IoT. So we solve those issues for communication for IoT. So this is a joint development work with ETH Zurich University. And essentially, we are again using QDIT to generate a unique identity per IoT device that can be extracted at the manufacturing level. And this is a public value, but cryptographically verifiable only by that device. And we use that as that initial key that is required to establish ChemTLS network, essentially. So because of using that unique device ID, we're replacing the extra amount of information that needs to be pre-shared before being able to run ChemTLS for IoT devices. Again, solving the power issue, pre-communication issue, and also memory problems on the IoT side. I'm not going to go through the handshake protocol of ChemTLS here. But yeah, so these are the two main things that we are addressing on IoT devices establish PQC algorithms for them. Thank you very much.